Welcome to this course, Modular Model Building with Macabacus. Here at CFI, we always think about financial model building in a modular fashion for a number of reasons. We're so excited here to share some of the powerful technology that's available in Macabacus to help you build your models faster and with more confidence. Now, there's a few reasons why we always think about financial model building in a modular fashion. First of all, financial models can be overwhelming when you think about them in their entirety. But if you break them down into bite-sized pieces or schedules, it can be much more easy to tackle, and this is why we like to think about them in a modular fashion. Now, the other reason that we think about modeling in a modular fashion is that ultimately the model will need to be printed or presented to the audience of stakeholders. And in order to present a model properly, you're going to need to break it into little bite-sized pieces. This is the other reason why we like working in a modular fashion. Now, the third and final reason why we like to work in a modular fashion is that it allows us to build up collections or a portfolio of schedules that we can use for model building. So examples would be, for instance, a revenue schedule or a cost schedule that we can pull down into a financial model, help us build the model really quickly. So in this course, we really want to think about a model schedule as being the atomic unit. So for instance, if we were thinking about an income tax schedule, then that income tax schedule would contain all of the necessary calculations that we need to do in order to calculate a company's income tax. Having an income tax schedule saved down in our available portfolio of schedules gives us one centralized version of the truth. So we can always pull that proper income tax schedule down whenever we're building a financial model. Now, during this course, we're going to be using the personal library that's available inside Macabacus. And this works really well for individual users. It will allow us to upload and store and organize our model schedules, and then we can quickly insert them into our own models when we're ready. Now, Macabacus also offers shared libraries, which are very powerful tools for our enterprise clients. And the way that these work is that one model builder can upload schedules and then push them out, make them available across the entire organization. So anyone at any time can pull down an audited version of a schedule that they need to put into a financial model. So we can discuss these shared libraries a little bit later. But for now, let's get started with the personal library. And you'll see in a moment that we have some downloadable files available for you. And in the next video, we'll take you through those files and get you all set up. We'll see you there. Now, just a moment ago, you would have had a number of downloadable files available to you. What we're going to do in this video is just take you through those files quickly to get you all set up and ready for the course. Now, the first file for us to discuss is the summary sheet, which we're pulling up on the screen right now. And we made it available in both Excel and PDF format. Feel free to print it out or open it up electronically, and you can make reference to it as we're going through the course. There are some tips at the top of the sheet that we like to think about when we're doing modular model building. There's also some really common and fast Macabacus keyboard shortcuts down below. Now, we also made an XML file available to you a moment ago. You may be wondering exactly what it's for. That file has the Macabacus settings that we use here at CFI for all of our financial models. And we also use those same settings in our financial modeling guidelines, which we're actually pulling up on the screen right now. If you haven't taken a look at this document, you should definitely check it out. It's a free download available for you if you wish. Now, you're definitely free to use the default Macabacus settings for this course, or you can use the Macabacus settings that your company has configured for you. But if you'd like to match our settings and import that XML file, then it's really easy to do. What we would do then is just go up here to the Macabacus section of the ribbon. Right here, if you click under settings and go down here to import, what you'll see is this button, import settings from an XML file. Just click on that button, find the XML file, and then you'll have the CFI settings that we use. Now, once you've imported that XML file, you may need to close down all the Office applications and reopen them to see the changes. And a great way to check if those CFI settings are coming through is by going right up here where it says Settings and then click Configure. You should see the CFI palette here and all of the CFI colors coming up right there. Now, the other file that was available for you in the downloads a moment ago is this Excel file or this financial model that we have open right now, right up here, called Modular Model Building with Macabacus Template. In the next video, we're going to walk you through this model and start to discuss how we're going to break it down into individual schedules and then upload them to Macabacus so that we can do some really fast and efficient modular model building. We'll see you there. Now, you're probably really excited to roll up your sleeves and get started and build models in a modular fashion. Before we start that, what we want to do in this video is just ask you to sit back and relax. What we're going to do here is we're going to highlight 4 key challenges that a lot of people run into when they try to build models in a modular fashion. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from our model here and pretend that we want to copy the cost schedule over into another model that we're building. So we can highlight across like this and select all the way down and just do a copy. Control C, flip over to a blank Excel file and do a paste. Control V, just like that. One of the first things that catches our attention are these ref errors right across the top. Let's look into the sales volume and investigate. If we tap F2, we can see this reference error coming up right here. What we need to do is flip back over to the original file and investigate why this is happening. Let's go down and take a look at sales volume. If we tap F2, we can see that this cell is referencing a cell which is above or outside of the schedule that we're trying to copy. And this is an issue, but we could easily overcome this actually by selecting all of these cells, which are outside of the range, doing a copy and then Alt-ES down to paste values so that these are just values. And then we could color them blue so they're marked as inputs. Now that we've made that change, let's try again. Again, let's copy the entire schedule here. Just Control C, flip over to the other file and go to the same spot and do a Control V for a paste. So that's taking care of the first problem that we identified, but there's other problems. The second problem is that here, when we did the paste, it took on the column widths of the destination spreadsheet. What it also did is it's distorted our row heights down the side here. So there's 2 other problems that actually have occurred. The first issue with the column widths is fairly easy to overcome. In fact, we could go back to the original model, do a copy again, and flip back here, and we can go Alt-ES, and we can actually paste special column widths. So when we hit enter, we actually get the column widths that we're looking for. The problem is there's no paste special for row heights. In fact, if we went back and checked the row heights for our original financial model, we'd see that the row height was set to 15. So the best that we could do here is reset these to 15. So we'll tap Alt-HOH to get to the row height, punch in 15 and hit enter. And that solved that problem. Now let's zoom in a little bit with Control Alt plus and go in like this and investigate these div 0 errors that are right down here. So let's pop into this cell and tap F2. In fact, the issue is coming from this cell where everything is locked on row 53 from the original model, and that number 53 is transferred over into this paste. Now, without a copy of Macabacus, this would be a very difficult error to fix. In fact, we'd need to go into every single cell that had a $sign that locked down the cell and make changes to the formulas, which would take a long time. Now, Macabacus has a great tool that can help us with this. Let's go back to the original schedule here. We're going to do a copy again, and now go to the area where we're building. We'll go up to the top right here. We're going to expand the ribbon and do what's called a paste duplicate. So the Macabacus section of the ribbon under paste, we're going to see paste duplicate. You are about to overwrite the destination range, which will result in ref errors in cells linked to this range. Do you want to continue? We're going to say yes to this dialog box, and we can see that what's happened here is it's perfectly helped us with this last challenge. So why did that tool work so well for us? If we go up here to the Macabacus section of the ribbon and hover over paste duplicate, we can see right here that what it does is it maintains formulaic relativity within the pasted region, which is exactly what we were looking for in this case. So we wanted to make you aware of these 4 challenges that people often encounter when they're trying to do modular model building. In the next few videos, what we're going to do is start to show you the tools available in Macabacus and show you how they overcome all of these challenges which people often run into. We can't wait to get started. See you in the next video.